Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Sunday, April 8th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap all the action from yesterday in the NHL, NBA, and MLB and go over what's going on in the Masters and a big NHL coaching firing after a team's very disappointing season, which led to a sell-off at the trade deadline, and now they fired their coach. I'll get to that in a couple of moments. Yesterday in the NHL, a majority of teams' seasons came to a close, and regular seasons have come to a close. You got the Senators and the Bruins. That was the first game on the slate from yesterday. The Bruins defeated the Senators 5-2 to tie up with the Lightning for first in the Atlantic Division. First period, Ottawa's on the board with a goal by Ryan Dzingel, his 22nd of the year, to make it 1-0 Sens. Second period, David Pasternak's 31st of the year on the power play ties it up at 1. Less than a minute later, Tommy Wingels, his 9th of the year, makes it 2-1 Boston. And Danton Heinen, 16th of the year, later on in the second period, makes it 3-1 Boston. Third period, Ryan Zingel's 23rd of the year, second of the game, gets the Sens within 1. And then Boston put it away on Nola Carey's 10th of the year to make it 4-2 Bruins. And the empty netter, David Backes, his 13th of the year, makes it 5-2 Bruins final, as Boston will play tonight against Florida as they're trying to secure home ice advantage in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Maple Leafs defeated the Canadiens 4-2 as the Maple Leafs are locked into that 3 spot. Austin Matthews, his 34th of the year on the power play, made it 1-0 Toronto in the first period. Second period, Daniel Carr, 6th of the year, ties it up at 1 for the Canadiens. Third period, Maple Leafs take over. Zach Hyman really early into the third period, his 15th of the year, makes it 2-1 Leafs. Nazem Kadri's 32nd of the year on the power play makes it 3-1 Leafs. Canadians get within 1 on a power play goal by Jeff Petrie to get them within 1. And then Patrick Marleau, empty net goal, his 27th of the year, 4-2, that's your final. The Flyers defeated the Rangers 5-0 to get that final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. It was all Philly. First period, Ivan Provorov, 17th of the year, 1-0 Flyers. Second period, Claude Giroux on the power play, his 32nd of the year, 2-0 Flyers. Michael Raffles, 13th of the year, 3-0 Flyers. Claude Giroux's 33rd of the year, second of the game, 4-0 Flyers. And in the third period, the hat trick for Claude Giroux, his 34th of the year, 5-0 final. The Rangers fired Alain Vigneault after the game. I'll get more into that as the podcast goes on. The Islanders defeated the Red Wings 4-3 in overtime as they close out their disappointing season with a win. The Red Wings had a disappointing season as well. First period, Henrik Zetterberg's 11th of the year, 1-0 Red Wings. Second period, Andrew Ladd's 12th of the year, ties it up at 1. Second period, Justin Abdelkader, 13th of the year on the power play, puts Detroit up 2-1. Detroit goes up 3-1 on Dylan Larkin, 16th of the year. Anders Lee's 40th of the year gets the Islanders within 1. Ryan Pulak's 10th of the year on the power play ties it up at 3 apiece. And in overtime, John Tavares' 37th of the year gives the Islanders the overtime win in what could very well be John Tavares' final game as an Islander. I just realized that right now. There's a lot of talk that he could end up on the Canadiens or the Maple Leafs in free agency. I've heard the Rangers linked to him. So it's going to be an interesting summer for the Islanders and John Tavares. And that's a story worth monitoring as the summer goes on. The Panthers defeated the Sabres 4-3. The Panthers were eliminated with the Flyers win from playoff contention. First period, Jonathan Huberdeau's 27th of the year on the power play, 1-0 Panthers. Colton Sergarov's 11th of the year, 2-0. Nick Bjugstad's 19th of the year, 3-0. No scoring in the second period. Here come the Sabres to make it interesting. In the third period, Jason Pominville, 16th of the year, makes it 3-1. Sabres get within 1 on the Sam Reinhart's 25th of the year to make it 3-2. Vincent Trocheck's 31st of the year puts Florida up 4-2. Ryan O'Reilly on the power play, his 24th of the year, with 17 seconds left in regulation, made it 4-3 as the Sabres hung around in this one. I'm interested to see what both of these teams do this summer. The Capitals defeated the Devils 5-3. As the Capitals weren't playing for anything, New Jersey was playing for seeding in the East playoffs. They are probably going to be playing either Tampa Bay or Boston. Alex Ovechkin's 48th of the year, 1-0 Washington. Nico Hirschier's 20th of the year ties it up at 1 apiece. Nicholas Backstrom's 21st of the year, 2-1 Caps. Second period. Michael Kempny's 3rd of the year, 3-1 Caps. Miles Wood's 19th of the year makes it 3-2. Devils tied up early in the third period on a goal by Patrick Maroon, 3-3. Alex Ovechkin's 49th of the year puts the Caps up 4-3, and Andrei Burakovsky's 12th of the year, 5-3 Caps. Alex Ovechkin falls short of 50 goals. 49 is still a great number. He has to be in the conversation for the Hart Trophy. The Hurricanes defeat the Lightning 3-2 in overtime. Jordan Staal's 19th of the year makes it 1-0 Carolina. Justin Williams is 16th of the year, 2-0 Carolina. Second period, Ryan Callahan's 5th of the year gets Tampa within 1. Andre Palat in the third period ties it up at 2 apiece. In overtime, Elias Lindholm, 16th of the year, that's your game winner. As the Atlantic Division will be decided today. Tampa's up by 1 point. If Boston wins, then they win the division outright. If Boston loses in overtime or in a shootout, Tampa wins the division. And if Boston loses in regulation, Tampa wins the division. So that's that scenario. The Jets fade the Blackhawks 4-1, as the Jets are locked in the 2 seed in the Western Conference's Central Division. Very disappointing season for the Blackhawks. Joel Quenneville and Stan Bowman are returning. I guess that's what 3 cups in a 5-year span does for you if you're Chicago. Dustin Byfuglien's 8th of the year on the power play in the first period made it 1-0 Winnipeg. Second period, all Jets. Kyle Connor's 31st of the year, 2-0 Winnipeg. Andrew Kopp's 8th of the year, 3-0 Winnipeg. Andrew Kopp's 9th of the year, shorthanded goal, 4-0. And Brent Seabrook's 7th of the year got the Blackhawks on the board. The Blackhawks are going to make some changes, though. Maybe they blow up their roster. But their championship window, in my opinion, is closed. Them and the Rangers are the 2 teams that had great runs earlier in the decade and kind of just faded over the last 3 years. Although the Rangers could have conceivably made the Eastern Conference Final last year. Instead, they lost to Ottawa in round 2. And then Chicago got swept by Nashville last year in the first round. We'll talk about the offseason more as more rumors start to fly around. The Predators defeated the Blue Jackets 4-2. The Blue Jackets were playing for seeding. The Predators had everything locked up. Austin Watson's 14th of the year made it 1-0 Nashville. Philip Forsberg's 24th of the year on the power play made it 2-0 Nashville. 3-0 Nashville on a power play goal by Philip Forsberg. Again, his second of the game. His 25th of the year made it 3-0. Josh Anderson's 19th of the year got Columbus on the board. They make it 3-1. Third period, Brandon Dubinsky's 6th of the year, short-handed goal, got Columbus within a goal. Philip Forsberg with the hat trick, his 26th of the year. 4-2 was your final. The Predators have had an amazing season, and they're getting Mike Fisher back for the playoffs as well. The final playoff spot in the Western Conference belongs to the Colorado Avalanche with a 5-2 win over the St. Louis Blues. This game was not on national TV, but if it was, I would have taken the Blues towards Maddie's picks, but I would have been wrong. Give Colorado a ton of credit. The Blues, this is an epic collapse by a team that started the season, I believe, 13-3. And how do you start 13-3 and then miss the playoffs? Oof. I know they traded away Paul Stastny at the trade deadline. They were out of it at the trade deadline or out of the playoff picture, and then they were in it, and then they popped back into the wild card, and then they lose the last game of the season to fall into the lottery. Samuel Girard's 4th of the year made it 1-0 Colorado in the first period. Second period, Tyson Barrie's 14th of the year on the power play made it 2-0 Colorado. Blues get on the board on a power play goal by Jaden Schwartz. His 24th of the year made it 2-1. Nathan McKinnon's 39th of the year made it 3-1 Avs. Third period, Gabriel Landeskog's 25th of the year, 4-1 Avs. Braden Schen's 28th of the year gets the Blues within 2 to make it a 4-2 game. Matt Nieto's 15th of the year put it away for the Avs to make them a 5-2 winner. As the Avs will be playing the Predators in the first round. I will be making my picks for the playoff rounds on tomorrow's podcast, as well as I'm finally going to do the 2016 redraft. And I'll give out my season awards for the NHL as well. The Ducks feed the Coyotes 3-0. The Ducks are locked into that 2 spot, so they have home ice advantage in the first round. Adam Henrique's 24th of the year on the power play made it 1-0 Ducks. Second period, Rickard Rakell's 34th of the year, 2-0 Ducks. Third period, 3-0 Ducks on Hampus Lindholm's 13th of the year. And that was your scoring. Disappointing season for the Coyotes as well after making the trade for Derek Stepan over the summer. Stepan had a nice year this year, but they made that trade to get Stepan and Ronta to be a playoff team. They were way short of that. And give the Ducks credit. They got off to a slow start this season, mainly due to injuries, and they rallied. They made the Sami Vatanen trade as they used their defensive depth to improve their offense. Although I love how Vatanen's played with New Jersey this season, Adam Henrique's fit just fine on the Ducks. The Flames defeated the Golden Knights 7-1. The Golden Knights were locked into that 1 seed, so they didn't have to win this game. First period, Johnny Gaudreau's 24th of the year, 1-0 Calgary. Mark Jankowski's 14th of the year, made it 2-0 Calgary. Jankowski again, 15th of the year, second of the game, 3-0 Flames. Vegas' goal was scored early in the second period by Cody Eakin, his 11th of the year, made it 3-1. Calgary the rest of the way. Garnett Hathaway's 4th of the year made it 4-1 Flames. Spencer Foos, 2nd of the year, made it 5-1 Flames. Mark Jankowski, shorthanded goal, his 16th of the year for the hat trick, 6-1 Flames. And his 4th goal of the game, Jankowski on the power play in the third period, made it a 7-1 final. So we saw 2 players score 4 goals in a game this week. That's crazy. The Oilers defeated the Canucks 3-2 in a shootout. Leon Draisaitl's 25th of the year on the power play made it 1-0 Edmonton. Jesse Jokinen's 5th of the year made it 1-1. Tyler Mott's 5th of the year made it 2-1 Vancouver. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' 24th of the year tied it up at 2 apiece. No scoring in the third period. Overtime, the shootout game winner. This actually was a 6-4 score in the shootout. The final goal of the shootout was scored by Leon Draisaitl as the Oilers get the win to close out their very disappointing season. I'm interested to see what they do. Everyone pegged them as the Western Conference favorites before the season. I did not have the Oilers making the Stanley Cup final before the season. I had the Nashville Predators making the final. And a lot of people look bad for making the pick of the Oilers to go to the final. And that's solely because of Connor McDavid being the best player in the league. He's probably a finalist for the Hart Trophy. The Stars beat the Kings 4-2. The Kings are in the 3 spot. No, I'm sorry. The Kings are in the wild card. In the West, they'll be playing the Vegas Golden Knights in the first round. So maybe that's a good thing for the Kings. We'll see as I do my predictions on Monday. Dallas got their going in the first period. They scored all their goals in the first period. Devin Shore's 11th of the year, 1-0. 2-0 on a goal by Jamie Benn. His 34th of the year made it 2-0. Benn's 35th of the year, 3-0. Benn's 36th of the year for the hat trick, 4-0. Kings scored their 2 goals in the second period. Alec Martinez, his 8th of the year, made it 4-1 to get the Kings on the board. And Martinez, his 2nd of the game, his 9th of the year, made it 4-2. That was your final. The Wild defeated the Sharks 6-3 as the Sharks will be playing the Ducks in the first round. And the Wild are locked into the 3 spot in the Central Division and will play the Winnipeg Jets. Jonas Brodin's 6th of the year made it 1-0 Wild. Matt Cullen's 11th of the year made it 2-0 Wild. Brent Burns' 12th of the year got the Sharks on the board to make it 2-1. Joe Pavelski ties it up at 2 apiece on his 22nd of the year. Second period, Mikael Granlund's 21st of the year made it 3-2 Wild. Jason Zucker's 32nd of the year, 4-2 Wild. Zucker's 33rd of the year, 2nd of the game, 5-2 Wild. Timo Meier's 21st of the year gets the Sharks within 2. Eric Stahl's 42nd of the year, empty netter, makes the Wild 6-3 winners. One game tonight, the Atlantic Division on the line, Panthers-Bruins. If Boston wins the game outright, they're division champions. And if they lose, Tampa wins the division. And if Boston loses, they play the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first round. And if they win, they get the New Jersey Devils. So it should be a fun hockey playoffs, and I can't wait to do my predictions on Monday's podcast. NBA last night, some interesting results to get to you guys. The Nuggets defeated the Clippers 134-115 to eliminate the Clippers from playoff contention as they fall to 42-38. Denver improves to 45-35. The tie with the Timberwolves for the 8th spot. The Timberwolves have the tiebreaker. Will Barton put up 31 in the win. Lou Williams put up 24 in defeat. Disappointing season for the Clippers comes to an end as they traded Blake Griffin mid-year. Doc Rivers' future's up in the air. At least they got that first-round pick from the Pistons, who won't make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. And they'll have 2 first-rounders and have a chance to potentially move up in the draft. That conversation will be saved for another day. The Bucks defeated the Knicks 115-102. I guess so much for tanking to play the Celtics if you're the Bucks, as they improved to 43-37. The Knicks dropped to 28-52. Chris Middleton had 28 in the win. Jared Jack had 18 in defeat. The Nets defeated the Bulls 124-96. They improved to 27-53. Chicago drops to 27-53. Quincy AC 21 in the win. Sean Kilpatrick 20 against his former team in defeat. The Thunder defeated the Rockets 108-102. An impressive win for Oklahoma City. Houston didn't have to have this game because they had everything clinched. OKC improves to 46-34. Houston drops to 64-16. Russell Westbrook had 24 in the win. James Harden had 26 in defeat. The Pelicans defeated the Warriors 126-120 in Oracle Arena. They improved to 46-34. Golden State drops to 57-23. Anthony Davis put up 34 in the win. Kevin Durant put up 41 in defeat. A great win for Anthony Davis and the Pelicans. And a big-time win for the San Antonio Spurs, 116-105 over the Portland Trail Blazers, as they improved to 46-34. Portland drops to 48-32. LaMarcus Aldridge put up 28 in the win. Damian Lillard put up 33 in defeat. Today's games, you have the Pacers at the Hornets, the Mavs at the Sixers, as the Sixers try to clinch up that 2 seed. The Hawks at the Celtics. The Pistons at the Grizzlies. The Magic at the Raptors. The Jazz at the Lakers. And the Warriors at the Suns. Standings, Eastern Conference. Toronto's locked in the 1 seed. Boston's locked in the 2. Philadelphia's 3. Cleveland's 4. Cleveland's a half game back of Philly. Indiana's 2 back of Cleveland, 47-33 at 5th. So I think they stay there. Miami and Milwaukee each 43-37. So if the season ended today, Milwaukee would play Boston in round 1. And Washington is a game back of Milwaukee and Washington at 42-38. West, Houston's got the 1 seed locked up, 64-16. Golden State's got 2 seed locked up. Portland probably locked into that 3 seed. Utah is a game and a half back of them in the 4th spot. In the half game back of Utah, all in the 3-way tie for 5th at 46-34. New Orleans, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City. That's 5 through 7. 8 is Minnesota at 45-35, and Denver's tied with them. As I mentioned before, the Clippers have been eliminated from playoff contention. Major League Baseball. Some interesting results from yesterday, and I'll go over today's games as well. The Yankees defeated the Orioles 8-3 to bounce back from that difficult loss on Friday night. They improved to 5-4. Baltimore drops to 3-6. Sonny Gray with the win. Chris Tillman with the loss. Brett Gardner got it going first on a 2-run single to put the Yankees up 2-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Top of the 3rd, Manny Machado 2-run double to tie it up at 2 apiece. Top of the 4th, Pedro Alvarez RBI double 3-2 Orioles. Bottom of the 5th, RBI ground out Aaron Judge to tie it up at 3 apiece. Bottom of the 6th, Miguel Andujar sacrifice fly 4-3 Yanks. Bottom of the 6th, Austin Romine RBI single 5-3 Yanks. Bottom of the 7th, RBI double Aaron Judge 6-3 Yanks. Bottom of the 7th, 2-run single Tyler Austin to make it 8-3 Yanks. That was your final. Sonny Gray had a nice game for the Yankees. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.6 ERA. Chris Tillman, 5 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with an 8.68 ERA. The Red Sox defeated the Rays 10-3 to improve to 7-1. Tampa drops to 1-7. Rick Porcello with the win. Jacob Faria with the loss. The Rays actually scored first in the top of the 1st inning on a 2-run double by Brad Miller to put them up 2-0. Bottom of the first, sacrifice fly, J.D. Martinez gets the Red Sox on the board to make it 2-1. Also in the bottom of the first, 2-run double by Xander Bogaerts, 3-2 Sox. Bottom of the first, RBI single, Rafael Devers, 4-2 Sox. Bottom of the second, Xander Bogaerts grand slam, 8-2 Red Sox. Bottom of the seventh, J.D. Martinez's first home run as a Red Sox, 5-2 Sox. Bottom of the seventh, Rafael Devers home run, 10-3 Sox. Garbage run for the eighth in the top of the eighth for the Rays on an RBI single by Denard Span. 10-3 is your final. Rick Porcello had a nice day. 7 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 2.84 ERA. Jacob Ferrier only went 1 2/3 with 5 hits, 8 earned runs, 5 walks, and no strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 14.29 ERA. The Mets defeated the Nationals 3-2 to take the first 2 games of this series. They are now 6-1. The Nats dropped to 4-4. Hansel Robles with the win. Brandon Kintzler with the loss. Jurasis Familia with the save. Bottom of the fifth, Pedro Severino RBI single, 1-0 Nats. Top of the sixth, RBI single, Travis d'Arnaud, 1-1 apiece. Bottom of the sixth, Bryce Harper's 5th homer of the year puts the Nats in front. Top of the seventh, RBI double as Durval Cabrera ties it up at 2 apiece. Top of the seventh, RBI ground out, Todd Frazier to put the Mets ahead for good. Great win, great start for the Mets. Steven Matz, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, an improvement from his first start against the Cardinals. Leaves the game with a 3 ERA. Joe Gonzalez, not a bad game for him either. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 1.59 ERA. The Tigers feed the White Sox 6-1 to improve to 3-4. The White Sox dropped to 3-4. Michael Fulmer with the win, Lucas Giolito with the loss. Top of the third, RBI single. That scored in 2 for Miguel Cabrera, 3-0 Tigers. Top of the fifth, Cabrera ground out, RBI ground out, 3-0 Tigers. Top of the sixth, Dixon Machado, 2-run double, 5-0 Tigers. Bottom of the seventh, Avisel Garcia sacrifice fly to get the White Sox on the board. Top of the ninth, James McCann with the bases loaded walk, 6-1. That's your final. Michael Fulmer pitched well, 5 1/3 innings. 6 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a .68 ERA. Lucas Giolito, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 6.17 ERA. The Mariners destroyed the Twins 11-4 in what was a cold day in Minnesota. Both teams are 4-3. Mike Leake with the win, Jose Barrios with the loss. Top of the fourth, it got going for the Mariners. Robinson Cano RBI single, 1-0 Mariners. Also in the top of the fourth, 2-run home run by Kyle Seager to make it 3-0 Mariners. Top of the fifth, 2-run single by D. Gordon to make it 5-0. Bottom of the sixth, the Twins make it a little interesting. RBI double, Miguel Sano to get the Twins on the board, makes it 5-1. Also in the bottom of the sixth, RBI single, Eddie Rosario, 5-2. But also in the bottom of the sixth, RBI single, Eduardo Escobar, 5-3. Top of the eighth, a 3-run double by Ryan Healy to make it 8-3 Mariners to break the game open. Top of the eighth, a 2-run home run by Guillermo Heredia to make it 10-3 Mariners. Top of the ninth, wild pitch by the Twins, scores in Gene Segura to make it 11-3. Bottom of the ninth, the Twins get a garbage run on an RBI single by Ryan Lamari, and that was your final. A nice game for Mike Leake. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and no strikeouts, though. Leaves the game with a 3 ERA. He held his own. Barrios did not. 4 2/3, 6 innings, 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Actually, a better game than I thought for Barrios from a statistical standpoint. 3.29 ERA he leaves the game with. The Cardinals feed the Diamondbacks 5-3 to improve to 5-2. The Diamondbacks dropped to 6-2. Michael Wacha with the win. Zach Greinke with the loss. Bogdanovich with the save. Arizona scored first in the first inning. RBI single. A.J. Pollock went off the Diamondbacks. Bottom of the first, RBI single. Jose Martinez tied up at 1 apiece. Top of the third, RBI single. Chris Owings make it 2-1. Bottom of the third, sacrifice fly. Matt Carpenter tied up at 2 apiece. Bottom of the third, 3-run home run, Jose Martinez to make it a 5-2 Cardinal lead. Top of the 8th, RBI ground out, Chris Owings to make it a 5-3 final. Waka, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.59 ERA. Zach Greinke, 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.06 ERA. The Cubs defeated the Brewers 5-2, which was a great game. The Cubs improved to 4-4. The Milwaukee Brewers dropped to 5-4. Pedro Strop with the win. Jacob Barnes with the loss. Brandon Morrow with the save. Milwaukee got it going first in the bottom of the 4th. A solo shot by Eric Thames to get him on the board at 1-0. Top of the 6th, a long home run by Chris Bryant to tie it up at 1 apiece. Bottom of the 8th, sacrifice fly by Lorenzo Cain to give the Brewers a 2-1 lead. And this is the game where they missed their closer so much. Top of the 9th, as the Cubs tie it on a infield single by Ben Zobrist with the bases loaded to make it 2-2. Top of the 9th, a big 2-run single by Ian Happ to give the Cubs a 4-2 lead. And the top of the 9th, John Lester, yes, John Lester, sacrifice fly to give the Cubs a 5-2 lead. Yu Darvish pitched pretty well in his second game as a Cub. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.23 ERA, so a nice bounce back for him after a disappointing debut. Zach Davies went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.4 ERA. The Royals defeated the Indians 1-0 to improve to 2-4. Cleveland drops to 3-5. Ian Kennedy with the win and the shutout. Trevor Bauer with the loss. Kelvin Herrera with the save. The lone run came off a home run by Lucas Duda off of Trevor Bauer to make it 1-0 Royals. Ian Kennedy went 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a .75 ERA. He's off to a nice start this season. Trevor Bauer, 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 2.08 ERA. Bauer pitched really well as well. Just the one mistake to Lucas Duda that cost him the game. The Phillies defeated the Marlins by a score of 20-1. Wow. As the Phillies improved to 3-4, Miami drops to 2-6. Miami's clearly the worst team in baseball. I said that to start the season, and I truly believe it now. Vince Velasquez with the win. Dylan Peters with the loss. Jake Thompson with the save. The Marlins actually scored their lone run in the first inning on a wild pitch by Vince Velasquez as Derek Dietrich scored on the throwing error by the catcher, Jorge Alfaro, to make it 1-0 Marlins. The Phillies take over from there. Bottom of the first, bases loaded walk, Rhys Hoskins, 1-1. Bottom of the first, grand slam, Maikel Franco, 5-1 Phils. Bottom of the third, Aaron Altherr, grand slam, 9-1 Phils. Bottom of the fourth, the Phils just keep the beat going. This is their big inning that they had. 2-run double, Maikel Franco, 11-1 Phils. Jorge Alfaro, 12-1 Phils on an RBI single. 13-1 Phils on a RBI ground out by Cesar Hernandez. 16-1 Phils on a 3-run home run by Carlos Santana. 17-1 Phils on an RBI double by Rhys Hoskins. 6th inning, 18-1 Phils on an RBI double by Scott Kingery. 19-1 Phils on a sacrifice fly by Rhys Hoskins. Bottom of the 7th, Jorge Alfaro's first home run of the season. 20-1 Phillies was your final. An ugly stat line for Dylan Peters. 2 2/3, 9 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 9.35 ERA. A very flop of the start after pitching really nicely against the Cubs. Vince Velasquez went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts, 5.19 ERA. That's a nice bounce-back start for Velasquez. And Thompson got the 3-inning save for the Phils. He did a nice job in relief for them. San Francisco Giants with a big win in 14 innings, 7-5 over the Dodgers as they improved to 4-3. The Dodgers dropped to a very disappointing 2-6. Roberto Gomez with the win, Wilmer Font with the loss. Bottom of the first, Andrew McCutchen RBI double, 1-0 Giants. Top of the third, RBI single, Chris Taylor tied up at 1 apiece. Bottom of the fourth, 2-run home run by Buster Posey to make it a 3-1 Giants. Top of the sixth, Corey Seager scored on a pass ball by Buster Posey to get the Dodgers within a run. Also in the top of the sixth, RBI groundout scores Ignacio Puig to tie it up at 3 apiece. Bottom of the sixth, RBI double, Brandon Belt to make it 4-3 Giants. Top of the seventh, Chase Utley with the home run to tie it up at 4 apiece. No more scoring until the top of the 14th as Logan Forsythe hit an RBI single to left to make it 5-4 Dodgers. Bottom of the 14th, a walk-off home run by the bat of Andrew McCutchen, 3-run shot, gives the Giants a 7-5 win. So that was a nice win for San Francisco. Chris Stratton went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.35 ERA. He held his own. Rich Hill, 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.7 ERA. The Dodgers need a win in the worst way. Clayton Kershaw's on the mound today. We'll get to today's action shortly. The Reds defeated the Pirates 7-4 as they improved to 2-5. The Pirates dropped to 6-2. Wandy Peralta with the win. George Contos with the loss. Raciel Iglesias with the save. Pittsburgh got it going first, though, in the bottom of the first. 2-run double by Corey Dickerson to make it 2-0 Pirates. Bottom of the second, sacrifice fly Josh Harrison to make it 3-4 Pirates. Bottom of the second, Adam Frazier, RBI single, 4-0 Pirates. Top of the third, sacrifice fly Joey Votto to get the Reds on the board. Top of the fifth, RBI single Jesse Winker to get the Reds within 2. Top of the sixth, 2-run single by Eugene Suarez to get the score even at 4 apiece. And Suarez gets the job done again in the top of the 8th with a 3-run home run to give the Reds the lead for good. Sal Romano, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 5.73 ERA. Chad Kuhl, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.06 ERA. A nice win for Cincinnati. The Astros defeated the Padres 1-0 in 10 innings on the crazier, unluckiest walk-offs you'll ever see. Eric Hosmer overran a towering pop-up with 2 outs in the 10th inning that allows the ball to fall without being touched to give the Astros the win as Derek Fisher scored the game-winning run on what was an infield single by Alex Bregman. Chris Davinsky with the win. Robbie Erlin with the loss. Garrett Cole pitched great again. 7 innings, 5 hits, 11 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a .64 ERA. He's looked like one of the better off-season pickups to the date so far. Brian Mitchell pitched well for the Padres. 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 6 walks, though, and 1 strikeout. Leaves the game with a 4.22 ERA. The Astros improved to 7-2. San Diego drops to 2-7. The Rangers defeat the Blue Jays 5-1. As they get an important win to improve to 4-6, Toronto drops to 5-4. Mike Minor with the win. Marcus Stroman with the loss. Bottom of the second, Ryan Rua sacrifice fly the score in Joey Gallo to make it 1-0 Rangers. Bottom of the fifth, 2-run double by Joey Gallo to make it 3-0 Rangers. 4-0 Rangers on an RBI double by Jurickson Profar. And the Blue Jays got their low run in the top of the sixth on a home run by Steve Pearce. Mike Minor, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.53 ERA. He pitched really well. Marcus Stroman, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with an ugly 8.38 ERA. The Rockies defeat the Braves 3-2 in 10 innings as they improve to 5-4. Atlanta drops to 5-3. Adam Ottavino with the win. Arodys Viciano with the loss. Bottom of the third, Nolan Arenado RBI single to make it 1-0 Rocks. Bottom of the fourth, Trevor Story homer to make it 2-0 Rocks. Top of the sixth, RBI double Freddie Freeman to get the Braves on the board. Ryan Flaherty ties it up in the top of the ninth inning with an RBI single to make it 2-2. Bottom of the 10th, bases loaded walk by Tony Wolters to end the game to give the Rockies the win. Chad Bettis pitched well, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.53 ERA. Anibal Sanchez got the start for Atlanta. He pitched decently for them. 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.25 ERA. The Athletics defeat the Angels 7-3. It's my mistake. As the A's improved to 4-6, the Angels dropped to 6-3. Andrew Triggs with the win. J.C. Ramirez with the walks. Blake Terrien with the save. Top of the second, RBI double with Stephen Piscotty, 1-0 A's. Top of the second, 2-run single by Marcus Semien, 3-0 A's. Bottom of the fourth, 2-run home run Justin Upton to make it 3-2 A's. Top of the fifth, Jed Lowry home run 4-2 A's. Bottom of the seventh, Luis Valbuena to get the Angels within 1. Top of the eighth, RBI triple by Matt Chapman to give Oakland a 2-run lead. Bruce Maxwell RBI single, 6-3 A's. Top of the ninth, RBI single Matt Olson, 7-3 final. Andrew Triggs, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.53 ERA. Angels, J.C. Ramirez, not a good game. 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 9.45 ERA. Today's slate, you have the Orioles and the Yankees, as the Yankees like to split up the series, and the Orioles going for the win of the series. You have Mike Wright Jr. against Jordan Montgomery there. You have the Red Sox going for the sweep against the Rays. You have Eduardo Rodriguez making his season debut against Andrew Kitteridge. You have the Royals and the Indians. Jason Hamill against Mike Clevenger. You have the Marlins at the Phillies. Jake Arrieta is making his Phillies debut against Trevor Richards of the Marlins. You have the Reds at the Pirates. Tyler Mahle against Jameson Taillon. You have the Tigers at the White Sox. The Tigers going for the sweep. Mike Fiers against Reynaldo Lopez. You have the Cubs at the Brewers today with Jose Quintana against Chase Anderson. You have the Mariners at the Twins, which was rained out today. That's postponed. Makeup May 14th. Padres Astros, as the Astros like to win the rubber match. Tyson Ross against Charlie Morton. You have Diamondbacks Cardinals, as the Cardinals try to win the rubber game. You have Taijuan Walker against Luke Weaver. You have the Blue Jays at the Rangers, as the Rangers like to salvage this final game. Jaime Garcia against Cole Hamels. You have the Braves at the Rockies. Sean Newcomb against Kyle Freeland. You have the Dodgers at the Giants. I think is a monumental game for both teams, especially LA. If San Francisco were to get this win, this would be big for them as well. Clayton Kershaw against Ty Black, as Clayton Kershaw looks to get his first win of the year. You have the Angels hosting the Athletics. Shohei Ohtani making his home pitching debut against Kendall Graveman. And Sunday Night Baseball, you have the Mets at the Nationals with Matt Harvey going up against Tanner Roark. The Nats are looking to salvage the final game of this series as the Mets are going for the sweep. Give me the Nationals at home. That crowd's going to be rocking. Bryce Harper's on fire. So give me the Nats to get an important win over the Mets. If the Mets get the sweep done, it'll be very impressive as they make their presence known in the National League and say, hey, we're no joke, we are for real. But I think they've already sort of proven that. But they can really prove it here with a national TV win on Sunday Night Baseball. Today's the final day of the Masters, as the winner will be named. Patrick Reed's in the lead with Rory McIlroy in second, Ricky Fowler's in third, John Rahm's in fourth, Henrik Stenson's in fifth. Reed leads the way with the minus 14, McIlroy's minus 11, Ricky Fowler's minus 9, Rahm's minus 8, and Stenson's minus 7. My Phil Mickelson pick does not look good. McIlroy will probably win the Masters. I want to close out the podcast talking about the New York Rangers firing Alain Vigneault The news broke late last night. This had to happen. This was a nice run for Vigneault. He did not do a good job the last couple years. He did great the first 2 years. As in this first season, the Rangers went to the Stanley Cup final when they lost to the Kings in 5 games. It was the most competitive 5-game series I can remember in my lifetime as a hockey fan and as a person who really likes hockey. And the second season, they won the President's Trophy, and then they lost in a 7-game series against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Final. And in his third season, they lost to the Penguins in round 1 of the playoffs. That was not a good season for the Rangers. They had a ton of injuries that year. And then they made some changes and some trades. And then in year 4, they upset Montreal in the first round. And in round 2, they lost to the Senators. As they probably should have won that series because 2 of those wins by the Senators were games that went to overtime, and the Rangers had the lead late in the game. So that's like the what if right there. And in this season, they're in the lottery. They had to sell off with the trade deadline, trade away Rick Nash and Ryan McDonough and Michael Grabner, Nick Holden. And then the sell-off kind of started last summer with the tradings of Derek Stepan and Antti Ranta. But I think they won't regret that move because Elias Anderson could be a franchise piece for them going forward because they traded them for the 7th pick in the draft, which turned out to be Anderson. They have 3 picks in the first round. Maybe they flip a couple of them for players. Maybe they trade up with 2 of the picks they got from Boston and Tampa for McDonough and Nash. We'll see. They're very fascinating. And from a coaching standpoint, do they go out and get Dan Bylsma? Joel Quenneville's off the table for them because Chicago is bringing him back. Maybe Darryl Sutter. So it should be an interesting coaching search for the New York Rangers. And the other tenant in that building could very well be losing their coach too, and Jeff Hornacek. I expect that announcement to go down either late Wednesday night or early Thursday morning, as both the Knicks and the Rangers will be searching for head coaches eventually. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.